It's Jackson Page against Ronnie O'Sullivan. The first 4 frames to play the Cesar Muroya or Fergal O'Brien.
It'll be quite interesting to see how he gets on against Jackson Page, who of course is a very promising player. This match is probably going to be suited to the style of O'Sullivan if it's a very open and quick game. But he's playing a good player in Jackson. He's won a match at the Crucible before, beating Barry Hawkins there. Not the most recent championship, the one before.
He was struggling a little with the tennis elbow that's been plaguing him on and off for the last 18 months now. He's had a couple of cortisone injections, and apparently the problem is when he's attempting power shots. He was wincing a bit in that victory over Paget, but apparently he's now okay now that the painkillers have done their job, so hopefully that won't be an issue. In round 1, he maintained his record of having always won his first round match in every Home Nations event.
1. Yes, and of course O'Sullivan did win that match on day 1, as Philip pointed out. It's Andrew Paget comfortably. Strange week, isn't it? Because we've seen a lot of players go out. The likes of Robertson, Kyron Wilson, Sean Murphy, Mark Selby. Others, Barry Hawkins.
Ten. $11. $17. $18.
I think he's been getting inspiration from what Mark Williams has been doing, winning last
24.
week in Cheltenham, beating Mark Selby in that
25.
final. The fact that Ronnie won in Shanghai, that those players are still right at the top of the tree. John Higgins probably win this week now. No, he's still in the way he's going, although he's playing that brilliantly in what I've seen.
$41.
Yeah, such a beautiful natural player of opening the bunch.
Yeah.
He knew that this red was in play anyhow, and he would finish on something because he knew he had a red. I don't think this is going to be a long match, even if it went all the way to 7th frame.
49.
Get the feeling that these two will rattle through the frames the way they play.
56.
Jackson Page missed a tricky red to the left centre.
57. $64.
He looks to be, up for the task. He looks fairly focused in what he's doing.
65. $70. 71. 76. 77.
Yeah, bank of spectators here to watch the great man play in his home county of Essex. Big snooker fraternity in this part of the world. Some good players.
82.
Bordering on great players have come out of Essex, this man being the best of them all.
83.
So this is a lovely start. That's a beautiful little cannon as well. Stun run through off the red. So far, so good.
90. 91. 98.
You miss, I'll hit.
99.
Playing at his usual electric pace, although he never looks as though he's rushing. And there's century number 1211, the crowd loving it.
5.
What a start to the afternoon.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 105 in the frame.
No clearance, but 105 will do from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Jackson Page needs to respond
Voices
quickly.
down,
Sullivan
please.
1-0 up.
Match is in progress.
The winner to play the Cesar Muroya or Fergal O'Brien in round 3 tomorrow. And C and Fergal are in action later this afternoon in our second batch of matches.
Well, he got the cue ball back round, but he needs the red to go tight on the cushion now. Well, not tight, but it's a very thin contact required to knock it in.
One.
Oh, he'd made an extra effort to play on the red just above the black.
6.
He'll probably still play the red, but it's more awkward to pot and get position from where he's finished.
7.
I think he'll be able to get to the pink here with sendable striking.
Thirteen. 14.
Well, once again, overcooked that. Got hold of it too much, that cue ball.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 14.
I had him in mind he would still try and cut the black in, but a very sensible shot. He looks on it today. I mean, as I say, there's not a licence to win just because the player's on it. But in the case of O'Sullivan, it kind of is it's a factor that you need to put into the mix, and he looks to be up for the game. Well, he played it with right-hand side and it just pushed away to the left when he hit it. Never came back. So that was the side which is the reason he misjudged that shot quite badly for him. The red that's close to the left corner is the thing that's giving both players a few problems. They don't want to play any shot which leaves that red on.
1.
That is a terrific shot. I'm sure he played it with a little bit of side, almost a swerve. Yeah, let's have a look at this again. Well, what a shot this was.
Seven. Fifteen. 16. 21. 22.
Playing into the bunch here. I think he played it well. He's all right, I think. Red to the right corner.
28.
The right one of the two close together.
$29.
What a chance he's created for himself here.
34. 35. 40. 41. 47. 48. 54. 55.
So it'll be 47 in front, having potted this pink. Potting
60.
a red. I mean, red absolutely guarantees
52.
O'Sullivan won't get out of his chair.
And what a good response to the early blitz from O'Sullivan. That could have been a little intimidating, but Page backs his own ability, and what a brilliant initial red to control the cue ball,
58.
to pot the red.
I
69.
think the expression untapped potential is apt for this Jackson Page. And he is still a young player, of that we know. And he's in amongst good players, good people around him.
76.
There's no reason he couldn't go a lot further in this game. Not dissimilar to the old Cliff Wilson, the Welsh player, going back a long time. Just the way he pots balls and seems to play with a bit
82.
of carefree abandon. You know, it's nice to see a player doing that.
84. 87. 91.
This has been special. Ronnie O'Sullivan complimented him, saying that he reminded him of Luca Brissell with the way he cues, the way he goes for his shots.
102.
Yes, and that was a victory at the Crucible, which rather came out of left field, given that Brissell had never won a match there previously, so who knows? In the meantime, that was a fantastic break from Jackson Page. What a start to this match. They've exchanged century breaks. Fantastic entertainment for this Brentwood crowd. It's one frame all. One frame apiece.
Super shot from O'Sullivan. Very controlled long pot. Cue ball just quite measured, bringing it down towards the bold colours and not going into bulk. He fancied getting the pot, you see, I think, which he did.
5. 6.
Well, this is where the sky's the limit with O'Sullivan, with the reds like this. But as you can see, everything's lined up quite nicely here.
14. 21. 22. 29. 30.
Again, the angle he has, he could just screw into the side of the bunch, but he has reds in play anyhow. Played a very delicate shot, and it's okay.
37.
So that was a controlled split, knowing that there were other options had the split not quite gone to plan.
38. 45. 46.
It's hard to believe that he wouldn't go on and win the frame again here. And obviously anything can be missed, but he's looking good. Frame's only 3.5 minutes old, and he's quite a way
51.
into winning it.
52.
52. Sullivan playing into an area where he had
57.
more than one red he could have landed on, which is the art of break building. You can never absolutely be sure of putting the ball on a certain area.
58.
Going to sound like sixpence, but I'm not sure everyone would know that expression, the younger watchers, but it means very precise position anyway.
65. 66.
Anything now he needs, there's another frame gone. Goodness, we've 4 minutes 45 seconds we've got on the clock, and it's over this frame. These two are absolutely racing
71.
around, aren't they?
72.
Making an incredibly difficult game look stupidly easy.
$79.
Well, that'll do. That'll do. Just nudged it.
80.
I mean, there's never been a snooker player like O'Sullivan break building. I mean, if there is to be one, because you can never really say never, I'd like to see that person play.
87.
But it's just the way that he can pass breaks,
88.
the ease in which he goes about it. And this has been a fairly straightforward break by his standards because his cue ball's been on the next ball perfectly. But there are other times when he has to sort of bring up shots into
95.
play that are a little bit unconventional early in a
6.
break very often. And it's like the centuries are going to keep coming.
On his first ranking event of a record-breaking 39 when he was still only 17, the UK Championship in 1993, and 30 years on, no discernible reduction
103.
in ability. His longevity is extraordinary.
$109. Ronnie O'Sullivan, $109 on the frame.
3 frames, 3 centuries, and not even half an hour's play. Sullivan breaking off in frame 4.
Yeah, under 7 minutes that last frame. And of course, O'Sullivan's always been up at the top end when it comes to speed and average shot times, which seem to have completely disappeared off the live scoring these days. When they were there, O'Sullivan was the kingpin, despite his advancing years.
Well,
That's 66 out of 67 now.
Yeah, there's a school of thought recently. I've been speaking to a couple of people about what you might do to the stats. Pot success in live play, I think, might be brought in because
5.
it's one thing missing an exhibition shot at the end of the frame. Missing a ball early in a frame, different ball game.
6.
At the moment, he's missing very much, or if anything, it's a good opening red once again here. This time the
13.
cue ball runs further than he would have expected. So now what does he do? Does he keep the pressure on?
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 13.
Yeah, well, there's your answer. He's keeping the pressure on.
Another cracking long pot from O'Sullivan.
Well, if the long pots are going to go in, then he is going to be irresistible force because there was something you would say that he does well, but not necessarily the best of anybody. It's the long game. You can think of players who might be more consistent, but today they've all gone in, I think. Certainly the ones I've seen.
8.
3 from 3. And they've all been good ones at range. So that's O'Sullivan firing on all cylinders.
He's still not missed a ball of consequence either.
14. 15.
Snookered himself at the back end of his second century in frame 3. The only ball that has gone astray was the first frame as he switches to left-handed after the century was completed.
22.
I think with this game, you could be playing O'Sullivan thinking, well, how can I possibly beat this player playing like this? And the answer is that hardly anyone could. But
28.
you know, it's not an easy game, and nobody's going to play to this level all the time,
29.
even the greats. Even that shot, exactly where he wanted the cue ball
35.
to, the millimetre, to pop that red.
36.
Never in doubt. Right in the middle.
What a great shot that was, Philip. He really got the bite on the keyboard,
41.
send it back. The natural angle was screwing her towards the right middle.
42.
The balls were not run quite so kindly, but he still isn't missing any of them. Occasionally just drifting out of position somewhat, that's all. This is a tough one. This could be missed.
Oh, goodness me.
48. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 48.
He's played that well. That's a good safety shot. That's covered up all the reds to the left side. Get through this one, it's tough still. Even that's been in. This is as well as I've seen him pot a long distance for quite a long time.
Some disbelieving head shaking in the crowd at the quality of O'Sullivan's snooker so far.
They're absolutely flying through the frames. He's missed one. It wasn't in live play. He's all over Jackson Page.
Yes, in terms of balls that matter, O'Sullivan remains at 100% so far. Jackson Page has done very little wrong. In fact, he made a superb century of his own in frame 2, but he finds himself 2 down with 3 to play.
And there's a long pot missed, although he got close to it. And he got lucky as well. And Jackson Page might be tempted to go for this long red because he's dangerous at long range. Perfect shot. Any luck? No, absolutely not. Not a very good shot, was it? Let's be honest. He's playing it with left-hand side slowly because he couldn't see the middle of the ball. And that side just pushed straight onto the red. Left it available, so that was sloppy. Can't work out why Ronnie's not playing that red. That's a mystery to me. That red was on. Did he not even see it? Red to the right corner looked pretty straightforward to me.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Yeah, any shot from in the jaws of the pocket, it's always going to be a tough one. Can we see whether that black goes? If it is, O'Sullivan might pop this one and play on it. Yeah, I think that will go. He would want to be right behind it.
1.
He wouldn't play on it and take the risk. Either way, he was going to be on something once the red drops.
Oh. 5.
Well, again, you wouldn't be sure that Jackson Page will ever come back to the table in this match because this is a typical O'Sullivan.
13.
Just a little nudge or two around the black spot, get the reds away from the black. And it could be that Jackson Page is bowing out here.
20.
If it does happen, it might happen very soon.
21. 28. 29.
I look at the spread of those reds in the middle of the table. I mean, really, it's almost like a little practice session pre-match for O'Sullivan, this.
36. 37. 44.
I don't think I've seen him play better in one of these best of 7 early rounds than this. He's been formidable in all departments, and when there hasn't been a pot, he's played a pretty significant safety shot.
$52. 53. 60.
Shanghai, that's his sort of stamping ground these days, isn't it? Those events. This
61.
very much is not to his liking as much, despite being in Essex.
Match ball.
58.
This match has been going less than 47 minutes, and it's already over as a contest. Jackson Page produced a brilliant century of his own, 1 or 2 errors, but he's not done a huge amount wrong. O'Sullivan has just blitzed him.
There's a big crowd here in Essex today in Brentwood. They've all come to see this man.
And now chasing century number 3 for the cherry on the cake.
92.
He's got it. Just the black required. What a display.
Oh, fantastic.
100.
Absolutely marvellous stuff.
Crowd are loving it.
101.
Jackson Page won't be, but what can you do when O'Sullivan is at the top of his game? Sit, watch and admire.
We've had 5 frames. We've seen 4 centuries, and it, you know, it is worth saying that Jackson Page in the frame he won got in and made a beautiful century.
110.
He made it quickly enough as well.
113. 117.
Well, not everyone would have thought O'Sullivan could win this week, but the way he's playing here, of course he can.
Fergal O'Brien or Cesar Muroya in the firing line next in round 3.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 122. Playing the match.
It's been a scintillating performance from the 7 times world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan. 3 centuries and victory in well under 50 minutes against Jackson Page, who made 100 of his own, but O'Sullivan was unstoppable. He wins by 4 frames to 1. He's into round 3 in Brentwood.